Oh, it is a very important meeting, but unfortunately it's all a question of too little too late if we don't watch out. The central problem is that the war has been going on for some time, and it really should be by now obvious that Ukraine needs more support, and this has not been forthcoming up to now. And if we do not watch out, Russia can still win, as indeed I predicted in my book.
Well, how far do you think NATO are prepared to go in support of Ukraine? Because every week virtually we've seen them offer just a little bit more than they did the week before.
Yes, it's a pity they didn't actually offer the weapons that they're offering now right at the very start. It's a pity that Ukraine was more or less abandoned at the very start. And the question is that NATO should work out just how far it's prepared to go still further, because it is very, very important to stop Russia.
What do you think is the ultimate goal of the Euro-Atlantic community when it comes to the situation in Ukraine? Do you think they want Ukraine to keep its complete sovereignty as a nation, or are they prepared to allow Mr. Putin to gain some territory from Ukraine?
Well, it would appear to be the latter, unfortunately, because what was quite clear was that when Russia invaded, the West did nothing, as if Ukraine was still in the Russian sphere of influence. And therefore, from that point of view, it would not be at all surprising to see that the Euro-West alliance would, in fact, as a result, pressurize the Ukrainians. Unfortunately, the fact is that Russia cannot stop now, and if it is not stopped, it will carry on, and that means that the war will escalate.
That's a very interesting point. So given what you're saying, it sounds like you believe this war has a way to run yet.
Oh, I believe so. The problem now is for Putin, there is no way back. If he fails or falters, that is to say loses power, then he's in for a bad time, as it's quite clear. War crimes trial might be the least worst of all the possibilities open to him. And that means he is going to keep on trying. Russia itself, the more it gets cut off, the more it will obviously find itself in a corner, the more it will try to work its way out of that, whereupon it will become a real war, namely what are Russia's resources versus the West.
And if Russia ends up occupying a space within eastern Ukraine, as well as, of course, Crimea, where do you think that leaves a country like your country, Poland, given its geographical proximity to Russia and Ukraine, and given the fact that we've seen Russian occupation in Moldova, Georgia? I mean, would that be acceptable to Poland?
For Poland, it would not be acceptable. The central problem is, as you've pointed out, is that Poland is, so to speak, next on the list. Actually, according to my analysis, initially the Baltic states are more likely to be under attack. They also contain Russian minorities, incidentally. And of course, there's also Kazakhstan. But sooner or later, yes, the Russians will arrive at Poland. So for the Poles' point of view, it would be better to stop the Russians now before the Russians appear in their territory.